So welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. Super excited to be here. Today we're here to talk about increasing engagement with gamification for virtual and hybrid events. So you can see we've got the word engagement in bold there. And the reason is because we're going to focus deeply on that. That is the key word. So before I dive in, I first want to thank our hosts, VII Events. I personally, Dima, and your whole team, the platform is amazing. I've never seen anything so cool. I'm just glad I did not get stuck in the London subway. So here I am. I made it onto the show floor. So let's dive in. And today, in the presentation today, we're going to go over these 4 topics. So here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn when you can engage, who you can engage, how you can engage, and where you can engage. So I was told I'll have 10 minutes here. I'll take the 10 minutes and then we'll open it up for some interactive dialogue. So let me tell you a little bit about Captello and who we are. So we live and breathe gamification. We are gamification. This is what we do day in, day out. And we're super proud to be recognized by the industry and our customers for our technology platforms. So you see on the bottom there, we were awarded the Buyer's Choice Award at Exhibitor Live recently. Very cool. Again, that's for having one of the top event platforms. And then on the bottom right, we're very proud to have a 4.5-star rating on G2 Crowd. And you see all the badges there. So what do we bring to the table and how do we help organizers and exhibitors and attendees? We bring to the table 50+ activations. Now, when I say activations, I'm also referring to games. So hopefully you've explored the VII Events platform so far. You can't miss it. There's a huge billboard in the open area. That's our photo booth. So I encourage you to go in there and snag a photo and check out the photo gallery. Very cool implementation and integration with VII. Now, again, we call them activations because a photo booth, it's not really a game. You know, we also have things like surveys and poll, other capabilities that aren't quite games, but of course we have an assortment of games to kind of boost that excitement level at your event. This is, our games are not like, hey, let me go grab a game off the internet and plug it into my event. We offer what I would call a build your own game model, okay? So we give you a template, we give you a framework, and you can take that specific activation or game and you can change every aspect of it, from the logos to the background to whatever you prefer. If you're playing something like trivia, you can include your own questions and answers, completely brandable. When we were helping VII set up the photo booth, Stas, the CEO, basically said, wow, I can't believe all these settings. So you truly can make your own game or activation. Another neat thing here is you can launch these activations anywhere. So you can launch them on a QR code, of course, in a virtual environment. You can launch them on a mobile phone. You can launch them at a live event. I'll talk more about that here later in the presentation. We also bring a few other capabilities to kind of broaden out the whole solution. And those are leaderboards and a reward platform and what we call player profiles. Again, I'll talk about that shortly. Something else that's really neat is data collection. You know, you see some of the other gamification providers out there, and they have something very simple like, hey, give me your name or your email before you engage. Well, we have, because of our roots in automation, and we have the ability to help an organizer or exhibitor create a very rich form that you can display before your activation or after your activation, okay? So it helps you with data collection. And then finally, we help you share those experiences, live, virtual, and hybrid. Case in point, you could take the photo booth that's used in this virtual world, and if you had a live event that would be going on concurrently with your virtual event, you could have tablets at your live event taking photos, or people could be taking photos on their mobile phone, and all of the photos from the live event, the photos from the virtual event, all those photos could post to the same gallery or to your social media network. So again, sharing those experiences. So let me give you a very quick video so that I could take a pause and you could hear more about our gamification platform. So here we go. All right. There's our video. Appreciate all the oohs and ahs. So let's move into some content here. We'll go back into slideshow mode. So I want to burn this image in your head, right? Hopefully you won't forget this, but let's answer that question of when can you engage, okay? I'm showing a before and an after. I'm showing a picture because that's what it's all about. It's creating memorable moments that you can take away, because I can promise you, being at VII events in virtual London, that is a great, memorable experience for me, and I'm not going to forget. So I love that. But when can you engage? It's very important to remember you don't have to engage at the event, and that's it. You can engage before the event, during the event, and after the event. As you promote your event, if you're on this in this roundtable and you're an organizer, you're going to market your event. You're going to put messages out on social media. You're going to create a landing page. You're going to send out email campaigns. You might have direct mail pieces that would go out. Use all of those opportunities before your event to engage your audience. Put QR codes on your postcards. Put QR codes or links on your websites and in your email campaigns. Do everything you can to get people to start playing and engaging and build momentum leading up to your event. Once the event is over, use opportunities like a reward system or leaderboards, or for example, maybe you might have one event today, and then maybe you have an event in 3 or 4 months down the road, or you have an event series over the course of a year. Use all of those opportunities to build loyalty, and choose games and gamification in general to create a strategy across all of your events, okay? So think about, again, before, during, and after. So who can you engage? Well, it's very important to engage all of these particular stakeholders. And the good news is that you can do that with the gamification platform. First and foremost, exhibitors. So inside their virtual booth or at a live event, exhibitors can have games. And exhibitors could, of course, engage attendees. Again, this can be done live or remote. With all of our games, because they're customizable and brandable, sponsors can have their logos or their content featured in these games and activations. At the bottom, you see the organizer, okay? So I put it in gold for a reason. In my opinion, an organizer should really never have to pay for any of these capabilities, right? They should be able to purchase games and then monetize it and make money by selling them to exhibitors or sponsors. And at the end of the day, the attendees benefit. Another important message here is organizers can engage by creating these strategies across your event. So again, don't just think, hey, I want one game, let's have some fun. Create a strategy around your event. You know, as an organizer, maybe you want people to go to a certain area or participate in the tech pavilion or attend a keynote session. Use gamification to attract people to these areas as an organizer and get them to take the behavior that you want them to take. So how can you engage? We've got 5 areas. Number 1, entertainment. So of course you can build excitement and get people all jazzed up by having super fun and entertaining games, as you saw from the video. You also can use games that educate. So if you have a message, maybe a new product launch, or your company is new, or you want somebody to get a certification and you want to reinforce the learning, you can use education for that. Another way that you can engage people is through these QR codes. So again, you could sprinkle QR codes across your event if you wanted to, live or virtual. One of our more popular use cases is with a treasure hunt or a scavenger hunt, where you can sprinkle these QR codes around and then people could see their progress towards a specific goal by going and finding these QR codes. Again, it gets people to go to certain places, wherever you want them to go. And then inquiries. So again, I mentioned you can have forms to collect a rich amount of data. So use that as an opportunity to engage people. Also, it allows you, if you're the exhibitor, to engage with the attendee because you know what data you're collecting. And then a reward system. So use rewards as a way to, again, you know, give people incentive, you know, to do something. So where can you engage? Of course, in the virtual environment, okay? Again, I love the integration with VII. It's super cool. There's really 2 primary things that we've done together, but it's a magnificent integration. Part number 1 is you can just take a game and you can plop it right into your virtual booth. And we automatically recognize who the player is because you're already registered, you're already signed into the event. So the neat thing is, if I want to come in here and play whack-a-mole or whatever the game is, it knows that, hey, I'm Ryan Schefke. And so we can take my points and put them right up there on the leaderboard. The second really neat integration in this virtual space is with Leaderboard. So our platform can take the points that might be earned from any of our 50+ activations and post them to the VII events leaderboard. Or you could use our leaderboards because we also offer those, very customizable as well. I'm going to tease you because I know we want to keep this roundtable short. Where else can you engage? So very briefly, you can engage in your booth, as I mentioned. You can see here using these QR codes, we call them waypoints. You can have floor stickers, or you could put these stickers on your booth, on your stands, lots of options for that. You also can have these activations in parties or reception areas. This is a cool use case. If you've got a session or a keynote presentation, throw a QR code up there. Your attendees can scan the QR code and they can engage and play a game, you know, before the actual session or maybe during, again, to reinforce learning. Also do it in webinars and at parties. I mentioned social media, email, so all digital marketing opportunities, you can include it. Again, your gamification can run digitally or in some of this content. This is a neat example, you know, maybe at your tables, you could put a little stand, you know, kind of like a restaurant, if you will, put the QR code there. You could put stuffers in your bag. You could have, you know, in the aisles of your event or in the lobby. So case in point, in the virtual lobby here, we've got our photo booth. I did want to show you a couple pictures of us in the live event because we're talking about hybrid where you've got, you know, your virtual and your live components. This was one of our booths. You know, we actually set up multiple games around our booth and we had crazy engagement. People were coming up, having fun and checking out where they were on the leaderboard. So huge success for us. What was really neat is it really was an icebreaker. You know, some people are not very comfortable coming up to you. And when you see these games and they come up and interact, it's very easy for the staff to strike up that conversation. And here's our form. There's some badge scanning built in, and we were showing whatever content we want over on a side panel. For this particular game, this was the actual leaderboard for the game. And then I'm not just showing our very handsome marketing person, Brad Froese, but I'm also showing a big leaderboard that we have. I mentioned that it is very customizable. Every element from font colors to background to who you highlight to the content over on the right. And it's all real time. You know, if somebody lands up on the top of the leaderboard, we have effects that can throw confetti everywhere and make it super engaging to your audience. So again, you can have this leaderboard on a big 50-inch TV like we have, or you could have it inside your virtual event. And it's, again, all real time. Results are displayed instantly. Very briefly, Dima, I'll wrap this up. So we do have a reward platform. We have over 250 gift cards of international brands and currencies. So euros, GBPs, all different currencies. As a way to reward people. You can have these gift cards inside your game, like a spin the wheel, and people land on a wedge of the wheel and they get a gift card. Or you could follow up, you know, when people are atop of the leaderboard. Then we have player profiles, a really cool concept where, you know, you could set goals like, hey, you have to get these 10 stops on the treasure hunt or find these 10 things across the virtual event. And players can come in here and say, oh, you know, I'm 70% to my goal, and what have I done, and see what I've won and see where they're at on the leaderboard. So this really pulls it all together and keeps them coming back for more. And I'd like to encourage all you organizers out there, again, if you have a series of events, use these player profiles and run them through the course of the year to keep people wanting more and coming back. The last thing here, very last slide, I want to offer this up as an opportunity for everybody to go ahead and scan that little QR code. You can play Whack-A-VII on your mobile phones. Pretty fun. And then there's a form if you do want a free consultation. One of our experts would be happy to do some brainstorming with you and find the right gamification strategy for your event. So with that, thank you for listening to my presentation, and we'll open it up for a Q&A.
Awesome, thanks, Ryan. Awesome presentation.
Yeah.
Just a quick comment that we have at around only a few minutes before our next activity starts. So yeah, we can proceed to Q&A session, and then in 5 minutes we'll have the escape room activity.
Sounds great. What questions do we have? Speak up, engage. It can't be from Brad only.
Yeah, personally, I know like almost all about Captello currently.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw you trying to hack the system. Nice job. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. No, we're super happy to partner with you guys.
Yeah, likewise, Ryan. It's awesome. It's also awesome to know from your presentation about QR codes that can be scanned, because like probably I skipped just this one, didn't see, but that's awesome feature.
Yeah, I think for the next VII event, maybe in the US, Dima, you know, we could sprinkle some of those QR codes around and have more of a treasure hunt and get people to go to certain areas. Because I'm exploring in your platform and I'm amazed. You guys have an incredible virtual platform. But I'm finding new things, you know, and it would be cool to kind of combine that idea of hunting for something, and then you're discovering it, and then whatever it is you want fit into from there, education or fun or whatever it might be.
Sure. And I think we have a few questions in the chat. So Ryan, if you can answer them.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Scrolling to the bottom. Jeff Campbell asks, great looking stuff, Ryan. I think he's talking about Brad. Do you have an open API webhooks? We do, Jeff. Maybe you could scan that QR code or get in touch and we can talk more about what you might be looking for there and what we can offer. But yes, we do have webhooks and we do have APIs, and we can do some really cool stuff there. I'll get just real quick background. We began as an automation company, sales and marketing automation. So underneath the hood, we have so many capabilities. You know, these activations and games kind of sit on top of all that functionality. So every day we see these new use cases, and it's exciting to be able to meet those with our capabilities. You're welcome, Jeff. Did I skip one? Oh, Liz, how do you get the balance right between a fun activity and a distracting activity that takes away from the event itself? Well, that's a great point, Liz, and I think you're still there. I would actually say that, you know, having something that's fun, you know, keeps the event to not be a distraction or not get boring, you know. So I do think you have to have a steady mix of fun, entertaining things, and then things that maybe educate or help people learn from it. Certainly, I think it varies on the event. You know, if your event is, you know, maybe more serious people, maybe you don't want to have something that would be more fun and engaging. But hey, things like happy hours and social events, clearly those could be more fun and engaging. So I think it's event dependent, and maybe depends on your goals. But I would encourage you, Liz, to make an inquiry. And honestly, even if we don't get to work together, exploring and brainstorming is something we love to do on a daily basis. Happy to chat about that. All right, I think Dima took off. Brad, did you have anything else to add here?
Well, I know we're time short here. Just wanted to mention, you know, you can set these up to create self-guided tours and experiences where people are driven to specific places or experiences in your event, and that drives conversation. The games can be customized so that you can literally design them to attract the kind of answers that you want to get from individuals. So you get lots of rich data, customizable forms and games, and you come away from the event understanding the human aspect of your lead capture process, engaging with real people, not just connections. So we help you do that. We're excited to talk to anybody and answer any of your questions. Thanks again for attending.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing day. Take care. See you.